मैं बस लास्ट में उनके लिए एक लाइन बोलना चाहूंगा कि कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो लीडर्स को बनाते हैं और दिखाई नहीं देते। लीडर्स बनाते हैं और दिखाई नहीं देते हैं एक इस तरीके से, जैसे आप कितने लोग फल खाते हैं, फल, फ्रूट्स। अगर फल मीठे हैं तो उसमें सबसे बड़ा रोल किस चीज का है? फल मीठे हैं एक पेड़ के अंदर, उसमें सबसे बड़ा रोल है जड़ों का। तो हमारे हर्बलाइफ के जो लीडर्स हैं वो इस तरीके से होते हैं कि वो दिखाई नहीं देते पर लीडर्स क्रिएट करते हैं। तो हमारे आज के जो गेस्ट स्पीकर हैं वो लोगों किस तरीके से लीडर्स बना रहे हैं और कितने लीडर्स हैं उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, अभी हमारे सर उसके बारे में बात करने वाले हैं।
मैं आप सब लोगों को बताऊंगा, मैं जल्दी जल्दी आपसे बात करूंगा। क्या आप लोग सभी लोग तैयार हैं ट्रेनिंग लेने के लिए? तो रूल नंबर 1, जब वो स्टेज पे आएंगे आपकी हूटिंग, आपकी सीटियां, आपका शोर ये दिखा दे कि वेलकम टू इंडिया, वेलकम टू दिल्ली। क्या आप रेडी हैं?
यस।
तो आपका एक्साइटमेंट ये बताएगा। मैं उनके बारे में जल्दी जल्दी बताऊंगा और मैं जल्दी उन्हें बुलाने वाला हूं। क्या आप सब लोग तैयार हैं?
यस।
तो सभी खड़े हो जाना जैसे ही मैं उनका नाम लूंगा। जैसे ही नाम लूंगा तभी खड़े हो जाना। ऑलमोस्ट 44 ईयर से ये बिजनेस कर रहे हैं।
44 साल उनको हो गए हर्बलाइफ के अंदर,
और लाखों डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर हैं उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, और 1000 से ज्यादा मिलेनियर टीम, गेट टीम मेंबर हैं। 1500 से ज्यादा प्रेसिडेंट टीम मेंबर हैं। 28 चेयरमैन क्लब मेंबर हैं। 3 फाउंडर सर्कल है उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, और एक सीईओ स्टेफिन ग्रियानी, वो भी उन्हीं की टीम से हैं।
अनबिलीवेबल।
18 साल लगातार बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर में वो रह चुके हैं। उनकी फुल फैमिली हर्बल लाइफ का बिजनेस कर रही है, और 29 बार 29 टाइम्स टॉप 10 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में वो हैं। 29 बार।
अनबिलीवेबल।
तो हेल्प
अस इनवाइट आवर 30K 7 डायमंड चेयरमैन क्लब
मेंबर
जॉन टार्टल।
Life, don't let it live you. I got a pocket full of $100 bills. Put on a jacket cause these diamonds give you chills. 2 shots I'm running, 2 out I'm starting tonight. Yeah. Look in the mirror, I'm like, who the hell is he? So many whips and cribs, I'm losing track of keys. Ooh, up to something. Ooh, yeah, I love it, alright. Alright. Yeah, I'm drinking out the bottle, hanging with supermodels. Get loose, feel like I hit the lotto. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I'm 1 + 1, I'm too strong. If you ain't about money, then get gone. I wanna wild out all night long. You wanna ride out, then get on. I'd hate me too if I were you. And when it comes to billions, I'll take 2. It's only one life, you don't get 2. So live life, don't let it live you. I got a pocket full of $100 bills. Put on a jacket cause these diamonds give you chills. 2 shots I'm running, 2 out I'm starting tonight. I'm starting tonight. Yeah. Look in the mirror, I'm like, who the hell is he? So many whips and cribs, I'm losing track of keys. Ooh, up to Cause these diamonds give you chills. 2 shots I'm running, 2 out I'm stunning tonight. Tonight, yeah. Look in the mirror, I'm like, who the hell is he? So many whips and cribs, I'm losing track of keys. Ooh, up to something. Ooh, yeah, I love it, alright.
Okay. Are you ready? We'll do more tomorrow, more later. And you're going to be here tomorrow, right? And you're going to be here Sunday, right? Okay. No problem. No. No more, no more. We have to start. So, how many people are supervisors here today? Supervisor, not tab team. Welcome. And how many of you are on the Get team? Get team. Millionaire team. President's team. And I asked earlier, how many future president's team are in the room today? Okay. That's the way you have to think. Well, I'm very excited to be back in Delhi. It's been a long time. And I want to congratulate all of you. You know, India has been an extraordinary story. Because, you know, I was here when India opened up. We were in Mumbai, and it was crazy. We had a room for 2,000 people, and 7,000 people showed up. And so it was crazy. We did meetings all day, and we knew something special would happen. And business went up, and as it happens in many of our countries, things go up fast, and sometimes people don't learn enough. There aren't enough roots, as was just spoken about. The roots were very shallow. And so the business went up, and it kind of went down, and then the roots took place. The leadership figured out how to do things correctly. The president's team, the millionaire team, the Get team. And, you know, it started to grow and grow, and you have been an example now for the whole world. You know, the growth in India is great for India, but it's great for the whole world because of the story. You know, this story of, all right, things can, you know, get going crazy. Maybe they slow down, but then when you get serious and you do things correctly and consistently, you can become #1 in the world, and you're #1 in the world. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. And you have a new chairman's club here in India, right? Fantastic. So, and #10 in the world, right, in the Mark Hughes bonus. So it's extraordinary. So, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get into much more detail, some of the more detailed stuff about what I did and what we did to grow the company. But just for a little quick background for the people that weren't here this morning, I started Herbalife in 1981 as a customer. You know, my girlfriend, she went to a meeting at the original Herbalife office the week before, and when she came home, she didn't ask me if I wanted to try the product. She told me I was going to be trying the product or buying the product from her. So I thought, okay, I was taking shakes before and vitamins, and I didn't really feel it. But when I took Herbalife, I lost 5 kilos, and I wasn't really that overweight, but you know, I lost some around my stomach, and I was exercising all the time, and I felt the difference. And that's where I thought, maybe there's an opportunity for the business. And I had no experience at all. I had gone to school. I was a musician since I was a teenager playing keyboards. And I would play sometimes in very small clubs and sometimes in front of 20,000 people in the bands. And I loved that. But the business of music was up and down and up and down. And actually, I went to law school for 1 year so I could read contracts. and I would keep reading how we were getting, there were bad things that were happening in the band. And so when Herbalife came along, I was at a downtime in the music, and I was working in restaurants. I was bartending, waiting tables, and I was hoping nobody could recognize me from the music world, okay? But I was making more money because in Los Angeles, even really serious musicians who should be making a lot of money, there's so many of them that we actually made some more money working in those other jobs. So I thought, okay, here's a job, Herbalife, that I could be my own boss. But the real key was this, because when I came down, and I told the group before, I came down to the meeting, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Now, in the book of music, the rules, you don't wake up if you're a rock and roll musician until noon, okay? So I was living in Malibu, California, in a little apartment. And so to get to the meeting in Beverly Hills, where the office was, took about an hour. So I had to get up at 8 in the morning. I was in a bad mood. And then I got to the meeting, and there were like 40 people. And as we do, everybody was applauding and excited. And I thought, this is one of these Los Angeles, crazy things. But I had lost weight, and I saw the other people's stories. And I went, wow, if those stories were true, I think they're true, there could be a good business here. And then when I saw the marketing plan, I'm good at mathematics, and I went, wow, that we can have an extraordinary life if we work hard and do this. And so the key for me, though, was at the end of the meeting, Jerry Satanovich, who was the first person that believed in Mark Hughes, Jerry just said the words that Jim Rohn taught her. The words up here. For things to change, John, you have to change. For things to become better, you have to become better. And that made so much sense that if I did the same thing I had been doing for 10 years, that not much would probably change in the next 10 years. And so I said, okay, what do I have to do? And she goes, all you have to do is use the product every day, the way you're supposed to. And I said, no problem. I was always good at disciplined at, shakes and doing my exercise and everything. The next thing she said you have to do is wear the button. This was a problem, okay? Because in my mind, the button was this big, and I felt like an idiot, going out and putting the button on. I said, but okay, that's what I have to do. And then you have to talk to people. And I said, what do you mean by that? And she explained a little bit. And the commitment was that no matter what, for 6 months, I would not quit. Every day I would talk to I would invite 2 or 3 people to look at the product or the business or both. And I would do that at least 5 days a week. And I would go to the meetings. I'd go to a training whenever I could for 6 months. And I said, okay. So that was an advantage as I see it now, because so many times when people join, they're like me. I was so nervous, so scared to talk to one person. And even at the HOM, if there were 30 people, I was dying to get up having to tell my testimonial. It's so funny. I could play music in front of 20,000 people. But to get up and tell my Herbalife story, my palms were sweating. I mean, I could hardly think. I don't know, it was just so different. But, I did it, obviously. And I talked to enough people in that first month where we actually made $1,000 US. So that was a lot of money to me back. It's a lot of money now here. It's a lot of money. And I'm telling you, people, I think people bought from me because they felt sorry for me because I was so nervous. I mean, I would actually say to people, I would show the product, and I would say, you probably don't want to buy it, and it's okay. And I would wrap it up, and I'd be starting to walk away, and enough of them said, wait a minute, yeah, I think I want to try it. I was like, really? They go, yeah. I said, oh, okay. So I would sell them the product, do the follow-up, and with each, conversation, my confidence started to grow because I learned. I learned what not to do, because after every time I at least stopped and thought, okay, how could I have done that better? Maybe I better stop telling people they probably don't want to buy this, okay? And actually, Lori, who is very strong, Lori taught a lesson from the beginning, where we used to teach people, you present the product, and you say, so, we have a fast program, a faster program, and the fastest program. So which would you like? And that could work if you told enough stories. Lori didn't do that. Lori said to people, based upon what you said, you need to be on this, 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 and this. So all I want to know is, what flavor do you want of the shake? What flavor of the tea? And how are you going to pay? Cash, check, or credit card? And people, so she was telling people, and this is the note you should all take. You want to get to the point where you're telling people what they need to do instead of asking them what they'd like to do. And you do it in a kind way. You tell them what they need to do because that is what they need to do. They come into your club and, they want to get healthy. They want to maybe lose weight. Well, they need to get a 20-pack or a 30-pack of tickets. You're not going to do that in one day, but you're going to get more help in 20 days, 30 days, right? And then as you get to know them, you do wellness evaluations, and then you go, oh, well, you need to be on Nightworks. You need to be on this and that, you see? Now, it took me about, I'd say at least 3 to 4 months before I had the confidence to say, you need to do this, okay? By the way, when we did our Herbalife meetings, to give you an example, Lori would do this, where we were all in our 20s. We were young. Most of us had no experience. So, at the end, and when you signed up in Herbalife back then, it was done on a piece of paper, an application form that people would have to fill out, okay? And it had some copies, 3 copies. What we would do, we would gather our guests after the meeting, and we each put our guests in our own circle. And what we did, we would photocopy the application because we didn't know what to do with people when the meeting ended. So we wanted to pretend like it looked like everybody was signing up. So we would hand them the copy of the application, the photocopy, which was not legal. It wasn't illegal, but it just, didn't make them a distributor. Because we said, we need to get your pre-registration information, so please just fill this out at the top, which gave us their name, their address, their phone number, and then we'll get started with you. So we had this impression, wow, everybody's filling it out, signing up, and then I would do something like, I'd go, oh, I think I need some more distributor kits. So I'd go, Jerry, do you have any extra kits? I think I'm going to need some. She'd go, John, everybody's signing up. I don't have any kits for you. So I said, wow, you better get this kit because we don't have enough tonight. So, by the way, the wonderful thing about Herbalife, everything works if you work it, okay? Yes, so that was kind of interesting what we did. Now, Lori saw this happening, and she goes, what are these people wasting their time for? She got her crowd over here, and she had distributor kits. And she'd go, here's your kit, here's your kit, here's your kit. How do you want to pay, cash or check? So she assumed that once they heard the product stories, once they saw the marketing plan, and once they heard the income stories, they'd be crazy if they didn't sign up. So, she just would say, here it is. And guess what? She would sign up more people than anybody else because people like to be told what to do, and they want to feel your confidence, you see? They could, like for me, I didn't sign up as many because I was not confident. I was confident they didn't want to sign up under me. So most of them didn't, but enough did, okay, enough did. And so it took me, like I said, about 3-4 months. to get to the point where, in my own way, you know, because I thought, wow, she's not polite at all. She just tells people what to do. But, you know, I would just say, okay, based upon what you told me, you really need to sign up tonight. So here's your kit, and, you know, how are you going to pay for it? And we started building. And, like, in our third month, we made $3,000, which was, wow, that was part-time still, part-time. So then we decided to go full-time. And you know what? When I went full-time, that was when everything got easier. Because it wasn't every day. I didn't wake up thinking, is this going to work? I'm going to do it for 6 months. I don't know if it's going to work. But once I made the decision, I'm going to do this forever, everything became easier. Because my thinking never, even in the worst times of Herbalife, for me, I never thought I should quit. I always thought, how am I going to get better? How am I going to fix this? How, you know, because Mark Hughes, I knew Mark Hughes was going to build a big company with me or without me, and I wanted to be with him. You know, he was special. He was extraordinary. You know, his energy, his confidence, his passion to help people, his passion to have the best products, and I definitely wanted to be part of that. And to be part of that, though, you had to be a producer, because, you know, just like all of us, we want to work with people who want to work. And so we built the business more and more. And then in that month when we went full time, I started taking even more responsibility to do the meetings and do the trainings and teach other people. And I'm going to go through that in a second, to where by our 10th month, we were earning $10,000 a month. And, you know, tomorrow I'm going to get into the details of that. How did that happen? And from there, you know, we built a business now where I have distributors in over 90 countries. I've lived in London, helping to grow London and England. Lived in Paris for 3 years, and that led to business all over Europe. And actually, even just from Los Angeles, we developed business all over the world, you know, but it was intentional. Every time I heard a new country opening, that was my way of starting conversations all over the world. Let's say Bangladesh is going to open. I'll start asking everybody I meet, do you know anybody in Bangladesh? You know anybody in Dubai when Dubai opens? You know what I mean? Now, before I got here, I was asking everybody, do you know anybody in India? Yeah, we got a new division in India, always a new division, you know? And so, you know, we need people out there. It's growing so fast. And with that, you know, we are able to build this now distributorship that is unbelievable. But it was because I stuck to the principles that Mark Hughes taught us. Use the product, wear the button, talk to people, and do it with consistency. And I always try to keep it, you know, because you've heard this before, keep it fun, keep it simple, and keep it magic. That keeps it magical. You know, and I do believe in that. You know, fun, simple, magical. Really, when you're in doubt about what to do, just put away whatever you're trying to figure out and go out and invite 5 people, 10 people, 3 people to look at the product, to come to the club, you know, to join a fit camp, whatever you do, just go out and talk to people. And I know it's scary. It could be scary to do that. But nobody's going to fire you except you. Nobody. You know, some of your biggest embarrassments, and trust me, I've had major big embarrassments by just saying something. I went, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that to that person. But it becomes one of your funniest stories in the future, okay? Nobody can fire you. You learn from it, and you grow. And from there, you know, it's just a matter of consistency and numbers. But to do it, you want to be organized, all right? So what I want to share with you is how did I organize, and how do I still organize when either I'm going to do a new 90-day plan, or I have a distributor who's new, or I have one of my distributors who's been around, and they want to grow the business. So I don't know if I have my clicker. Oh, I do have my clicker. Okay. So let me go through this with you. Okay. This has been my flow forever. And I'm going to go through it in more detail. But when the person comes in, I want to, number one, see if they use the product. Okay, they do? Great. What's their goal? What is it they want from Herbalife? All right? Based upon their goal, what's the plan of action that we're going to have them do? Okay? Once we have the plan, then they have to keep gauges or statistics. What did they do every single day? Are they doing what they said they would do to achieve the goal? Okay? Next one, if they really do the top line, they're going to get customers and distributors. They're going to. And so once they have them, what's the support system that they're going to have for them? And the support system is what you do personally, it's what your organization offers, and what Herbalife offers. And I'm going to go through all this in a minute. Then from there, we look at the promotions, because promotions, it just gets people to do more than they would normally do under normal circumstances. So there's personal promotions you can do, there's organizational promotions, and there's company promotions, okay? And from there, anybody who goes through all that, that helps me to identify who could be one of my key people. And remember, to get to Chairman's Club, you need 5 key people. 5 president's team, 5 lines, right? And so you're not going to find 5 lines by sponsoring 5 people. You're going to find 5 lines maybe by sponsoring 500 people. Maybe not that many, but it takes quite a few. But one way to identify who do I work with, who do I spend time with, are the people that go through that whole cycle. I go, this is somebody who's learning, they're doing it, I'm going to spend time with them because they could be one of my key people. And then from there, it's just doing the whole cycle over and getting better and better and better at doing the cycle. So it doesn't matter what methods our people are doing. It could be nutrition club, wellness evaluations, social media, boot camp, fit camp, all of that. That's a technique that fits into the plan of action. You see? So whatever was going on with Herbalife history, in our history, we went from flyers, which still some people are doing, to ads in the paper. Now, we do advertising on social media. We then evolved where they started doing mail order many years ago, in the early 90s, where you get stuff in the mail. Then when the internet came along, instead of mailing, they put stuff on the internet, and we had internet systems that happened. And then about the same time, we had nutrition clubs just starting. We had wellness evaluations starting. We had a lot of the stuff that's going on today starting, and those have evolved depending upon personal circumstances that you all have, the organization or the country, the region, and what's going on in Herbalife. Okay? So this is how the group developed, and it was then, if people kind of stuck to a simplicity, and that's not totally simple, but it's pretty simple, that's how we developed so many leaders all over the world. And so many people started, and they were nervous. I remember when Leon Weisbein started in Israel, he was so nervous out there, and he always talks about he was an orange picker, even though he had been studying to be a doctor in Russia. He emigrated to Israel. But, he's a smart guy, and he was willing to work hard. That's the key, by the way. Any of you that say, these people have so much talent, I don't have all that talent. First of all, most of them didn't have the talent that you see them have today. I didn't at all. I mean, there was times when we first started, we first started doing video training. And Mark wanted me to get up to do a training for video. I was so nervous, I could hardly talk. I was sweating like crazy. I was forgetting everything. And Mark was so kind to me by never letting me see it because it was terrible. But the more I did it, the more you learn how to do it. And then as you speak in front of people, I remember Jerry Svetanovich, who is, many of you don't know her, she's not out quite as much anymore. But Jerry was great, is a great distributor. And I remember Mark Hughes, how we built the company, he taught us you tell people what to do. You then show them what to do. They try it. If they don't do it well, you tell them again, show them again. They try it until they do it, okay? And within this, you generally, if somebody's, again, is going to be one of your key people, you should only have to show about 5 or 6 times. And then they're trying to do it, and after 5 or 6 times of you doing show, they should be able to do it well enough, and they do it maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times, well enough where now they can just go do it, okay? And you come back and work with them on that. So with Mark, we had our first big meeting in Los Angeles, 400 people. And Jerry didn't know it because everybody was coming to see Mark Hughes. And he said, Jerry, you're going to do the HOM today. She goes, what? And she's, and Jerry normally, she was a school teacher before. She was a good trainer in our office, but 400 people. She was used to 40 people, And she had just bought for the meeting because we didn't have a lot of money. So I didn't know this at that time. I learned afterwards. But we all said, oh, she's in a silk dress. Well, she bought the silk dress at a Goodwill center that cost her $2, okay? It was not very high quality. So Jerry was up there trying to do the meeting. We saw her legs were just shaking like this. She was so nervous. She started getting big sweat stains under her arms. We were all feeling so bad for her. But you know what? She did it. And in the end, people signed up. People, did the business, did volume. Yeah. And now think about this. In her first year in Herbalife, she got 60 first-line supervisors. Yes. She set herself up for life. That set her up for life. She was the first founder circle, of course, because enough of those 60 people stuck around, right? Nice. But to be honest, she worked 6 to 7 days a week. She was working at least 12 to 14, 15 hours a day. And so it was work. But it was also passion. It was also, she really believed in the product. She believed in the business and in Mark Hughes. So let me go through this now, what I do. All right, we have the next slide. There we go. Okay, back. So, first step is somebody has to use the product. Now, we say in the United States, that means you have to make them a wow shake. And what we mean is, the shake is so good that when somebody takes their first sips, they go, wow, that is great. And this is so important. I got to tell you, I had a Get Team member who I went to do a meeting at her nutrition club. This is a while ago. And I was doing a training, and she says, oh, would you like a shake? And I said, sure. So she brought me a shake, and all it was we had wild berry Formula 1, and she put wild berry Formula 1 with some water and mixed it up. And she handed it to me, all proud, and I took a sip, and in my mind I went, what's this? But I just put it down, and I did the training. So after the training, I said to her, Wendy, is that how you make your shake at the club? She goes, oh yes. And I said, and Wendy, do you like your shake? Oh, I love that shake. I said, Wendy, don't lie to me. Do you look forward to you putting powder in a glass with water, mixing it up with a spoon? Do you really look forward to that? She goes, well, I know it's good for me and it's low calorie. And I said, Wendy, and do you teach your people to do that? Because she was frustrated. She wasn't getting to Millionaire Team. And she goes, yeah, but they seem to like it. And I said, Wendy, you're so nice. People don't want to tell you. They hate this shake, okay? They don't like this shake. You have, like in America, we like to put ice in the blender. We like to maybe put a little half a banana. And nowadays we have, like I just tasted backstage here, the banana caramel, and it was delicious, by the way. It was a great shake. But Wendy, I said, but this is why you're not growing, Wendy, because your people, they don't have the confidence to tell people to take that shake, because frankly, it's not a very good shake, you know? And so this is where people need to learn how to make a wow shake. And I know you can do that. That's one of the benefits of Nutrition Club. You have the place to teach people how to make the shake. Now, one of the first questions, though, that I ask people who say they want to build a business, I say, so, tell me, what is your favorite shake? If they can't immediately tell me their favorite shake, I say, you're not really on the product. So you know what? We don't need to go any further in this. Because if you don't believe in the product enough to take it, and if you haven't had a good experience, then you know what? The business is not going to work for you. And I've had some people say to me, look, I can sell anything. I'll tell people I lost 20 kilos. I said, no. I don't want you to lie, because people will know you're lying. That's why salespeople get a bad name. Many salespeople will tell lies. People can sense it. Maybe they don't hear it, but they can sense it's a lie. Just like people can sense the truth. And so when you really love the shake and you're really taking the product, they're going to feel it, that you really do, you know? And now they're going to be more interested in doing what you have to say. So you start taking the shake every day. Take your tablets, like you said, an herbal aloe, and let's talk in 2 weeks. And they go, well, wait, I want to start now. I said, it's a waste of time. So let's not waste each other's time. I said, I'll tell them, I promise you, this is important for the base of your business, okay? So, first thing, so you don't ask people yes questions. You say, do you like your shake? Oh, yes, I like it. Do you take it every day? Oh, of course I do. Do you take your tablets and herbal aloe? Oh, sure I do. No. Ask them questions they have to answer. Okay, what's your favorite herbal aloe? How many capfuls do you put in? What are the tablets that you like? Questions where really to see if they really use the product. Because I told the group earlier today, think about this. Whatever products you don't use, you don't sell. Because you don't even think about it, okay? But if you use every product and you have a story to tell from every product, now you're enthusiastic to talk about it, okay? So I take about 70 tablets a day, okay? Yes, I took them for lunch. And I take it because of what it's going to do for me. The heart products, the Nightworks, the cellulose, the joint support. I mean, we have a lot of products in the United States, but you have a lot of products here. And so I use them all because of my health and to give me the energy that Herbalife has allowed me so many opportunities to. You know, I still ski, I still surf, I still work out all the time. I travel the world, love dancing, all of it. I have a big life. And that's because I have the energy and the health just to be able to do it. We've all heard, without good health, what do you have, really? You could have billions of dollars, but if you're unhealthy, you can't enjoy it, really, okay? But I also take all the products, so I have a story to tell. I have a business reason to take the product. So, because now I have a story to tell and have confidence that if you take it, it can help you too. So this is a key in your business. If you don't believe in the product in that way, you could do okay, and you might get lucky. You might find somebody under you who has this passion, okay? But if you don't have it, it's unlikely you're going to get somebody who does, okay? So, first step, as I said, use the product. Make a wow shake. Then, second step, okay. And by the way, they could, from the first day, have a wow experience. If they say, oh, I had the shake, it's fantastic. I had the tea, I love that tea, the Fresh, fantastic. So I say, great, let's make, what are your goals in Herbalife? So I want them to write down their 1-year goal, 5-year goal, 10-year goal, okay? And the first 12 months is the most important. What do they want to change in their first 12 months of their life? All right, but I also want them to, most people stop thinking about the future by the time they're in their mid-20s. Because when they're younger, many people feel, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become a star, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to be successful and help people. And then they get so beat up by life, they start going, well, I'm doing okay. You know, we have a place to live, we have food, we have some fun, we're doing okay. So I want them to start understanding it's okay to start thinking, dreaming again. I want them to dream. What are their goals they would like to be at in 5 years, 10 years? Because this vehicle, they have finally found a vehicle that can get them to their dreams. I totally believe it. But in the first year, you know, I want to make sure they don't have unrealistic expectations. Some might say, well, by the end of the first year, and by the way, let's say the person has no money. By the end of the first year, I want to own a Porsche. I want to be in a penthouse in Mumbai, you know, and okay, I mean, that's all right, but why don't we first get you a car, okay, just get you a car, and then let's get a nice apartment, you know, and if you reach that really quickly, hey, we'll change the goals. So I want to know their goals personally and in their life. Who are they? You know, I mean, maybe they want to talk about it. They want to get married, but they don't have the money, so they're not going to do it. They have sports goals, they have fitness goals, whatever. Business goals I want, and one of them is, how long is it going to take you to get to senior consultant, to, you know, 42%, to supervisor? Let's get a goal. How fast can you do it? All right? I know I got to supervisor in 3 weeks, in the first 3 weeks. And that was because I did a house party with a lady in Beverly Hills. And, you know, she said, I said, how many people will you have? She said, oh, at least 20. And they're all going to buy. I said, I thought, oh, yeah, right. But great. Okay, that's great. And she goes, no, I'll have 20 people at least. Well, I found out why. Because when we went to her house, she was serving everybody really good wine. Okay, so they knew she had good wine. So they all came to drink the wine. And then we did a presentation, and we sold 2,000 volume points. So that was half the way to supervisor. And, you know, from there, I got some more customers, distributors. So anyway, so you make a goal. How fast do you want to get there? And move up the marketing plan, which means I have to show somebody new, if they don't know it, what is a supervisor? What is a world team member, and what does that mean? What is Get Team, and what do you get from Get Team? Show them what the extra 2% can do. You know, millionaire team, president's team. So I try to show the marketing plan so it's compelling, so people go, oh, wow. Yeah, that's something that, you know, I want to get there. I understand it. Okay? Also, lines of supervisor. I still believe in this, is that eventually the person's going to talk to their brother, let's say, who's going to talk to their cousin, who's going to talk to the people that they work for, eventually. You know, maybe it takes 6 months because they keep prejudging. They go, oh no, she's not going to want to do it, so we're not going to talk to her. You don't know that, okay? You don't know if your coworkers wants to do it. It's called talk to people, invite people. So I say, look, instead of eventually doing it, we need to do it now before one of these other people do it. And I tell them the Ellen Lorenz story. When I moved to England, one of the first people I was referred to was a guy named Ellen Lorenz. And I heard that he had a gym near the apartment that I was renting, or the house. And I went there, and I said, where's Ellen? And they asked why. And when I talked about Herbalife, they all started to laugh. And I said, what? They said, he's not going to be interested. And they said, I said, he owns a gym. They said, Alan only comes to the gym to watch the girls exercise and meet them. They said, what? He goes, don't you know? His family's rich. Alan's a lawyer. He owns gyms. They own restaurants. They own banks. He'll never do Herbalife. He's not a serious person. So I thought, oh, well, I guess I don't need to pursue it, you know? Stupid. 2 weeks later, my third line, total coincidence. My third line came to me because she went to a nightclub and had the big button on. This gave Ellen an excuse to talk to her, okay? Hey, what's that button about? She got him on the product with Ellen's wife, Carol, and sure enough, he and I then, we became best of friends. We were working meetings in London together, And we actually ended up going all over the world, helping to open the world. But Alan, eventually, for newer people, he became #1 in Herbalife. He was extraordinary. But Alan was my 4th line. And if you understand the marketing plan, that means I didn't lose, I just didn't earn millions of dollars that I would have earned if I had sponsored Alan personally, okay? So don't prejudge anybody, rich, poor, young, old, doesn't matter, okay? So anyway, so lines of supervisor, it's like, if you're gonna eventually talk to these people, do it now. Because what you can do, instead of trying to help somebody do 4,000 in volume, well, let's get them together, and maybe they each do 1,000 each. And I showed the marketing, how you can get to supervisor faster by doing it together. Plus, it gets people locked into the business more. If your first liner suddenly has 1 or 2 or 3 supervisors under them, they're more likely to want to work harder and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. You see? So if you don't know about that, look into that, learn about how that works. All right, the next thing. So now they're using the product, that you have the goals, and based upon their goals, you make a plan of action. And for me, the plan comes down to, you invite 3 new people a day to look at the product or the business or both, 5 new people a day if you're serious part-time, and if you're at least 5 to 6 days a week. And then otherwise you do the Mark Hughes plan. And Mark Hughes' plan for the people that were serious, he said, you're gonna invite 10 new people a day. And he goes, Tartol, are you really serious? I said, yeah, Mark, I'm really serious. Then I want you to do this. I want you to invite 10 people to look at the product and 10 people to look at the opportunity a day. Now think about it. If I really did that 6 days a week, that's 120 people a week or 500 people a month. With those kind of numbers, you could build a business fast, okay? I wasn't always getting 20 people a day, but I always talked to 10, no matter what. It was a no matter what. And one way that I did it, it was very scientific. I put 10 coins in this pocket. And when I talked to somebody new, I took a coin out and put it here. And so towards the end of the day, I'm going, oh no, there's 3 more I gotta get. And so whatever I had to do, go into a restaurant, go to a gas station, whatever, and just say, excuse me. The line that I still use basically is, excuse me, maybe you can help me out. I have a brand new division of my company opening here, wherever it is, and I'm looking for people that want to get healthy, maybe want to lose some weight, need more energy, but I also need people that could use an extra $500 to $1,500 a month working part-time. Do you know anybody like that? And almost everybody will at least say, how do you make that money? So it just creates a conversation. And you can do that anywhere, all right? So, all right. So, and then by the way, by doing the Mark Hughes plan, this is how, we grew fast, because if you really talk to 10 new people a day, that tend to lead within a month to 20 to 30 customers. Our goal was to have 40. Now remember, we didn't have nutrition clubs. So these were people buying full programs. And our goal was to get at least 40. Beyond 40 was kind of tough to do the follow-up on that many people. But then out of those conversations, we would also recruit 10 distributors a month, all right? But we also learned pretty quickly, out of 10 distributors, that actually 5 or 6 of them, maybe even 7, were really just people who wanted to use the product at a discount. So they were like preferred clients now. And that's where some of the distributors got faked out, because they're going, I'm recruiting like crazy. I'm getting 10 people a month, and these people aren't working. It's because they're spending time with those 6 or 7 people who are really customers, instead of the real serious time with the 2 or 3 people who signed up to work, to do the business, okay? So we would look for those people that really were starting to go through this process. And the ones that didn't, it was fine. We just treated them more as a customer, because that's what they were, a discount customer. So anyway, And then, by the way, if you did that, you know, if you 10 customers, 10 customers a week, 10 distributors a month, and that would generally, you know, lead to about 10,000 in volume points. Why? Because if you have personal use, and I used a lot, but back then maybe it was $300 or $400 worth of volume points, and then, you know, you get 10 customers, actually about 20 or 30 customers, that's another 2,000 or 3,000. And then if you get one supervisor, that's 4,000 more, plus senior consultant, and it added up to at least 10,000 in volume. And see, my goal though was not to do 10,000 in volume. My goal was to invite 10 new people a day, 6 days of the week. And if I did that, and I plugged them into the system, then it should take care of itself. So that's what I focused on. I like keeping things simple for me. I didn't obsess over 10,000. I obsessed over inviting 10 new people a day, okay? All right, from there, once you have that set up, then you keep statistics, gauges. And the key here is don't lie to yourself. Honest gauges, new people that you talk to, not the same people over and over and over again. So, you know, I would just mark down a line in my day timer every time I talked to somebody new, and I had the coins in my pocket. And then I would make notes, who the person was who seemed interested, and you know, and that way I can more accurately know what's working and what isn't working, okay? And then what is working, I could teach it. See, by keeping these honest gauges. And at the beginning, I'll be honest, Doug Stuntz was the boyfriend of Jerry Svetanovich. Doug was very tough. So we had these sheets where it had little squares, 1 through 31 days. Then next to it is how many invitations did you do today? How many people booked to come in? How many actually bought? How many signed up? How many senior consultants, you know, and supervisor? So there was my first time I did it, I said, okay, I went to see Doug and showed him, and I showed 10, he goes, good, 10, 10. I went 8, and then I went 12. And he goes, Tartol, you're such a loser. I said, what? I said, Doug, okay, it was 8 that day, but I talked to 12 the next day, so it's like 10. He goes, but that's not the plan. The plan is to talk to 10 new people a day. So listen, when you get serious, you come back and talk to me. Now, by the way, the rest of the month, I hit 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So I said, oh. So the next month, I had the list for Doug, and then I had the real list that I kept for myself, because I didn't want to hear Doug give me any problems about it. So, but it did get me to be honest with my own statistics. See, if you're not honest with yourself about taking the product, if you're not honest about what you really do in the business, you're never really going to know what's working, what isn't, what the issue is, okay? So this is important. From there, oh yeah, and by the way, the accountability is important too. You know, even if you should try to get a friend, hopefully your sponsor, to be accountable to, so you can show them the statistics and you can analyze what's working, what isn't working, okay? All right, from there, if you do all that, like I said earlier, you will have customers. And that's where it leads to tell, show, try, do. All weekend I'm going to be talking about that, all right? That's how I built an empire. Tell, show, try, do, and teaching my leaders how to do tell, show, try, do. Most of us, we do tell. This weekend is tell. It's training to a crowd. We're not showing you, we're not going out with you today to show you how we start a conversation, how we invite somebody to a nutrition club. We may train on it, but we're not actually doing it in reality. So a lot of people are good at training, they're good at tell, but they're not so good at show because part of it is because you're scared that what if I go and do it and it doesn't work? Nobody wants to show up. People are, you know, whatever, that doesn't work, I'm going to look bad. Don't worry about that. Actually, one of the worst things that could happen is that you go out, you invite 10 people, they all show up, and they all buy. That's terrible, because now your people are going to go, well, I can't be like her, I can't be like him, you know? And sometimes it's almost better you go out and nobody shows up, nobody buys, and you're okay with it because you're going to do it again the next day. And people go, wow, They're already, get team, mill team, and they have bad days. They have days that just don't go so well. It's okay, So, all right. So we'll talk more about tell, show, try, do through the weekend. And the buddy system. This is critical too. Like, how do I have so many leaders and trainers? It's the buddy system. And what that is this. When I'm going to use the example of a business presentation. So when we did HOM, you told the Mark Hughes story, you went through the products and did testimonials, you showed the marketing plan, did testimonials, and you talked about the next step, okay? And so we'd say, okay, we've done enough tell, show, try, do, one-on-one. Now what I want you to do, you're going to do part of the training on Monday, on whenever. And most people go, no. Most people, the two biggest fears in life are the fear of death and the fear of speaking in front of a crowd, okay? So people don't want to do it. I say, don't worry about it. I'm going to be right there on stage. And by the way, on stage could be your nutrition club. I'm going to be right there next to you at the club. And I tell you what, you talk about Mark Hughes starting the company. I'll talk about the product. You and I will bring people up and have people tell their story. Then I'll show the marketing. You help get the testimonials up, and you're going to help, close, okay, or whatever. And so we do that 6 or 7 times, and then they're doing okay. And then I say, okay, next Monday, you've done this now for almost, 2 months or a month. You're going to do it alone. And they go, no way. And I say, don't worry about it. Because whether I was on stage with them or I would sit in the first row, I say, here's what's going to happen. If I see that you stop thinking, that you're so nervous you stop breathing, that you're off the subject totally, here's what I'm going to say. And I had magic words. And all the magic words were, can I say something? And you're going to know when I say that you're going to go, yes. You're going to step back and you're going to breathe. You're going to take 3 big breaths. And I'm going to continue. Nobody's going to know that you're nervous because I just said, can I say something? And you politely said, sure. And so I'm going to continue where you were supposed to be. You're going to listen. And then when I see that you're calm, I'm going to bring you back to do the next part. And so that works. They see that it works after 2 or 3 times. So in the 4th, 5th, 6th time, they're feeling a bit more confident because they know that I'm there just in case, they need my help. Then when I say you're going to do it alone, I say, don't worry, I'll be in the front row. And these are new people. They don't know what's going on. I'm just going to say, can I say something real quick? And again, you'll step back. I'll talk for a moment. I'll say, so Mary, why don't you continue? And after they do that 6 or 7 times, they're good enough. They're good enough. And they have enough confidence. And then, don't get me wrong. After a week or 2, I go back and want to do this all over again because sometimes they start talking so much because they're learning how to tell jokes. Everybody's entertained. They've never felt this kind of power before. And they just keep wanting to talk and talk. And I go, wait a minute. You got to keep this down to 20, 30 minutes. Keep it simple. You're doing a great job. But always explaining why. Whenever I have to tell somebody maybe they're not doing something right, I want them to know why, not just because I said so. I want them to understand the logic. Why do we set the chairs up like we do? Why do we do the music like we do? Why do we do all this like we do? There's a reason behind it all. So I'm going to treat them as adults, intelligent people. This is why we do it. That's why you want to duplicate that. You see? Okay. So, and again, if you can record yourself, you're going to get better faster. You videotape yourself. It's unbelievably embarrassing. It was for me, but I'm telling you, you don't realize sometimes, like when I used to do scripts, I would stop at the end of every sentence. And I didn't say it, but I did say it by my attitude, by my hesitation. I was saying, you're not going to show up, are you? You really don't want to do it, right? And I didn't say it, but that is what I was saying, okay? And until I heard it, I wouldn't have believed it. I went, wow, no wonder they aren't showing up. I'm almost saying you're not going to show up, are you? So I learned how to just keep going. And I learned when people asked a question, I would answer the question and then tell them what they needed to do. So many of us are so polite, we answer a question and then we hesitate. Like saying, is that okay? Does that answer your question? No, no, no. I answered your question, now I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Okay? And people want to be told what to do. So, all right. And then within the organization, the support system, of course, we have chats, you know, like in our case on Telegram or WhatsApp. We have the challenges going on. We have Zooms, social media, our live events. We have our, you know, our social times, our fun. All of that, you know, to help a support system that you can provide people, you. Then you have, you know, your organization, you know, has chats, challenges, and the events. And then you take advantage of the company. The companies, you know, meet like, you know, well, this is actually a corporate event. I know Anish and the team put this together. So that's kind of an organization event, actually. But then when corporate does an event, we also support that, building on all of it, okay? So the company's offering, you know, leadership weekends, extravaganzas, honors, those types of things. And also the, you know, online, myherbalife.com, you know, the HN Grow. So just all of you should learn about all the support that you have to offer, your organization has to offer, and Herbalife has to offer. And the more you can use all three, the better, okay? Because then your people can do the same thing. You don't have to have all the answers. You can lead them to your organization's chat, let's say, to ask a question. You can lead them to Herbalife to ask the question, you know, to get the information. And then from there, it's promotions. You know, and promotions just get people to do more than they would do under normal circumstances. Like we have the VIP people here today, right? And we're going to honor them later on. Gets people to do more than they would normally do. And so you can do personal promotions. You could do promotions for your customers, okay? You can do promotions for your distributors. You can do, you know, now with preferred customers. But I also try to piggyback. In other words, I try to add on top. If the group has a promotion, your organization, I try to match it. So let's say the group says, if you do 5,000 in volume, you're going to get, you know, a special dinner at the next event. And I say, okay, if you do the 5,000, you're going to get the dinner, but we're going to do a lunch. Something like that. So now, wow, you sweeten the pot. You give them more, so they're more likely to go talk to those extra people because they want to get the 5,000 volume points done. So I piggyback on top of what the group does, but also what the company does. If the company has a promotion, like we have, you know, Premier League, we have, you know, so many things the company is doing, I look at first all of that to say, okay, how can I make it so enticing, so attractive, that if they do this, the company's going to reward them, the organization's going to reward them, and I'm going to reward them. That's powerful. And you're able to use all of that to really make it so interesting for people that are serious, that they're more likely to go out and talk to more people with more intensity than if it was just you alone. So stair-step it. Stair-step people up the marketing plan. Boy, if you do this and you get 2 people with you, we can get you to World Team. And then you can start building supervisors. Because remember, you're not going to build royalty overrides without getting supervisors under you. So that's another thing that you want to concentrate on. You want to have goals for, you know? And by the way, to get supervisors, it means you have to recruit first. So you have to recruit frontliners who then move up the marketing plan to supervisor, and they do the same. So I know we're all good. All over the world, we're good at getting customers, especially with clubs. So easy to get people coming in and all that if you just do the basic work. But to really build up and take advantage of the network marketing business that we're in, and the #1 paying network marketing company in the world, where you can build business all over the world, this is Herbalife. So you want to take advantage of that. You know, you want to take advantage. Okay. And then finally for me, and I'll get more into this tomorrow, I already talked about Getting to the point where you tell people versus asking people what they want to do, you tell them that we had this no matter what it takes attitude. No matter what it takes, we're gonna do the volume to get to the promotion. We're gonna get on the vacation. Whatever it is, we're willing to do the work. When I talked about that forever decision, once you make that forever decision, then it's just a matter of how am I gonna get better, not should I do Herbalife. If you always are thinking, should I do Herbalife, kind of slows you down versus how am I gonna get better at Herbalife. Herbalife works, it's worked for so many people, it can work for you too if you just work, and learn how to, and remember, what you lack in skills, you can make up for in numbers. So in other words, if a president's team here, they only need to talk to 5 people to get, a new distributor, but you have to talk to 20. Well, guess what? If you talk to 20 and they talk to none, you're going to beat them in terms of recruiting, you see? So you can make up for in numbers what you lack in skill. And then as you do the numbers, you're going to get the skills. And all of a sudden, where it took 20 people, you're going to only have to talk to 15. And then you only have to invite 10. And then you're down to 5, like the Pres team, for example. I almost lived, and tomorrow I'll talk about this, when I did find that serious person, I didn't live with them, but we were talking every day. We were working together. I'll talk about how we did it tomorrow. 90-day plans, definitely that's another way to focus your energy. Not next week and I'm done. 90 days. You have 90 days of work. And talk about how to work the 90 days. Consistency, like I said, is the key. And then everything within this is wrapped up with personal development. Whenever you can, not all day long, listening to Jim Rohn or reading a book or whoever you like, but for things to change, you have to change. And so by learning that see, here's the beauty of Herbalife. Many people go to a personal development seminar and they are fired up, and in 2 weeks later, they're more depressed than ever. Why? Because they got their mind opened up, they got fired up about a future, but they don't have a vehicle to go put that into action. Here, we all have the vehicle. We have a proven vehicle of 45 years, 90 countries, hundreds of millions of customers, hundreds of thousands of successful distributors. So we have the vehicle. You wrap it up with what to do with personal development, and I'm telling you, you're going to change your life, you're going to change other lives, and Herbalife is still determined to change the whole world. So thank you very much for what you all do. Thank you. All right.